back to Surviving and Thriving, where we share with you the things that we have learned as we have transitioned our family from struggling to survive disease to thriving, right smack dab in the midst of it, in the hopes that something that we share with you will help you, enlighten you, and encourage you as you transition your family from struggling to survive disease to thriving, right smack dab in the midst of it. Well, thank you all for tuning in. Today is First Friday Fitness Day. Yay! So we're going to talk about some of the fitness aspect of maintaining your flexibility, mobility, your endurance while you're overcoming. But also, these are some of the things that you can use when you are bedridden, when you're in between bedridden and being fully functional in every area of your health. Today we're going to focus in on the ankles. I cannot possibly share everything that is good for the ankles with you right now, but I am going to show you some things that I have utilized, that I have learned from the physical therapists that I've hired, from some of the institutions that I have been a part of in my physical therapy journey, right? So these are things that can help to rehabilitate you, can help to maintain you. It can help you. So don't feel like you have to be in a certain position to use it. If you have no health issues, you can actually use these things. Now, I'm going to show you some of the tools that I'm going to explain to you today. Well, actually, let's just start with the bands. So I have these bands. I have different colored bands. I don't have all of them here because my children actually use these, and I got to hunt them down to get them, and they break them sometimes too. But there's different kinds, and you can get these bands at your local athletic wear stores or your outdoor stores, and they're fairly cheap. You can rip off as much as you need, cut off as long as you want it, the length that you need it. And as you can see, they're different colors. The different colors represents different different elasticity, okay? And some are more opaque than others, but there's different kinds, and you can get help with that when you go to purchase these. You can also, if you go to a physical therapist, you can ask them for some. They can give you some of these, okay? Okay. So I'm going to show you some exercises that I use with these. You're going to have to bear with me because I am using my laptop. I have all these little helpers, my children, who begged and plead to be able to video record this today so that they can get good angles of me doing these with my feet, but they are in the middle of an intense neighborhood basketball game, and I have been informed that I should not interrupt it. So we're going to let them do that, and I'm going to share this with you. So it's not so much the angles of the video for the exercises as it is the importance of you learning the information and utilizing it for yourself. That's what's more important. So these are things that I used for my ankles. Now, I've been through a lot of things with my body and with my ankles, but I had went through a really hard time where, after years of prolonged being bedridden, my ankles were real wobbly. They weren't very steady. I couldn't really stand up on it. If I stood on, if I walked on a little small piece of paper, a little small pebble, a little piece of string or something, it would throw me off and I would fall. My ankles couldn't catch it, right? I didn't have very good balance, and I didn't have any strength in my ankles, and so I was a big walking hazard. And my husband and them would always walk around me like, oh, they were scared, don't move. And I didn't really want to use my walker, but that's another story. We'll talk about that on another day. So let's go over some of the things that you can do to help you. This is just find the strength that's going to work best for you. So I'm going to show you how to use it with the band first, okay? One of the things you want to do, you can do this in a chair, you can do this laying in your bed, you can just cross your legs wherever you are, and you can lay this across the top of your foot, all nice and neat there, right? You want it right here on the top of your foot, not necessarily on your toes. And you want to kind of hold back with your other hand, put a little resistance, a little pressure on it, and you just want to lift up with your feet. Now, of course, with any resistance training, you guys, this is what this is. This is resistance training. With any resistance training, the slower you go up and controlled, and the more slower you go down and controlled, you're going to really work those muscles in there. Now, when you're doing this exercise and you're going up and down, you should be able to feel these muscles right in here contracting, and that'll let you know a little bit on how weak you were. When I first started doing this, there was like little to no movement here. You couldn't really feel anything because I had absolutely no muscle right there. So when you do this, and you want to do this at least 3 sets of 20. And you're probably, if you're real weak, you're not going to be able to start off doing 3 sets of 20. I couldn't start off doing 3 sets of 27 of them. 3 sets of 7 kicked my butt, right? And I struggled to get all 3 in. And if you're in a really bad place, if you're in a really weak place and your ankles need a lot of attention, you want to do this, work your way up to being able to do it 3 sets, 20 times, 3 times a day, right? 3 sets of 20, 3 times a day. And so you can do this. This is real easy. You can do this while you're watching TV, when you're sitting down, not really doing much. You can do this, right? And so you want to do this. You want to go up and down, right? And that is going to help you. And you put your hand here so you can feel it, so you can make sure that muscle is being worked. If you're really weak, you might shake a little bit. It might burn a little bit, and it might wear you out. It's okay. If you can't get the whole 20 in, rest, come back, do some more. Build yourself up to it. The other thing you want to do is you want to turn it where it's on the side here, right? It's not so much on the toes, but on your foot here. And then you want to go out. That helps to build those muscles along the outside of your ankle, and you should feel that muscle right in here as well work on this side, on the outer part of your shin here. You should be able to feel it, right? Oops, sorry. So you want to go out with that. Okay, you also, because you want balance, you might find that sometimes your foot can go out better or it can go in better, but in a lot of cases you'll find it probably goes in better because that way is stronger than out. But you still need to work that side, maybe not as hard or as much as you work the other angles or the other ways, but you want to hold it on the outside and you want to pull in, okay? And you want to do that 3 sets of 20 for all of these, okay? The other thing you want to do is put it on the outside here. Remember, not on the toes, but more so on the ball of your foot here, right? And then you want to go out, okay? Uh-oh, it's moving. But that's what you want to do. You want to push it out. And you should be able to put your hand up here and feel these muscles, right? When you're going towards the inside, you're not going to feel it so much on the outside as you're going to feel the muscle on the inside, and that's what you want to make sure that you're working as you go in and out. The other thing you want to do is you want to put it, I did on top, and we go up, right? Did I do that one already? Just in case I didn't. I'm going to turn this way so hopefully you can get a better view of it. So you want to put it on the front, right? And you want to go down and up, down and up. You also want to put it on the back side. I know we went over this, but let's do it again. And down. Oops, sorry. There you go. Down and up, down and up. Why do I have this little thing right here? Well, because sometimes if holding it is a little bit too much for you, you can put a hole. This one's a little bit too small right now. I think one of my children probably tightened it up, and I think they did it a little too tight. But what you can do also is you can put a little knot in it and you can stick your foot in there, right? And then you can hold it with your hand, put it around a chair or whatever you need to do to be able to give yourself the resistance that you need to be able to do the exercise on that. So those are things that you can use for that. You can do the same thing. You can use a towel, you can use a shirt, you can use a pillowcase, you can use a belt the same way as you use these. Now, if you're too weak for these, because even like this right here, this is, I guess, like one of the weakest ones you can get. This was too much for me. I had to work up to this. So what we would do with the physical therapist that I was working with, or with my husband, or sometimes I would do it by myself, I just put my hand right on top, right? And I use my hand, let me turn this way again, see if that'll help you. And I would just use my hand to kind of push my foot up, right? That might be too hard for you. It may not. If it is too hard for you, let someone else do it, but my husband would do it. Now, if you have a caregiver or someone who's doing it for you, you don't want to put so much pressure on there that they can't lift their foot up. You have to know at what place and at what point. You can kind of feel when you're doing it for someone, you can feel what's a good pressure. You can know if you're doing it too hard or not hard enough. You'll kind of get a sense of that. And it will make you tired. It will wear your ankles out, but it's strengthening your ankles, and that's really good. The other thing that you can do is write your ABCs with your foot. Act as if your big toe is like the pencil, and write your ABCs. So you would go up and down A, right, with your foot. And you go all the way through your ABCs. But I go ABC going left to right, and then I'll do it again and do my ABCs, but write my letters going the opposite way, right to left, because that works the fullness of your ankle. The other thing that you can do is 3 times. You want to do it 3 times, 3 sets each, right? Is to just take your foot and go around in circles, right? My toe is cramping, sorry. And just kind of go around in circles, okay? Back and forth, left and right. I had a hard workout, you guys, but you want to go around. Now, if you're not able to use your own ankles are kind of weak and you're not able to really get that control over there, right? A passive way of doing this, you can do it for yourself or someone who is your caregiver, or someone who's working with you. Someone else can do it for you passively. This helps a lot when people are bedridden, and it has to be done passive. If people are conscious or unconscious, you just take it and just roll it around for them, back and forth for them, right? So you go around 10 times in one direction, go around 10 times in another direction. And all things, what I probably should have started off with is stretches. You should really stretch. Even your ankles, stretching is important because it gets your muscles warmed up and loosened up so you don't pull anything or hurt anything. So a lot of times what we would do is just kind of put a little pressure here to stretch out the top of my ankle here, right? I would start off with the circles first before I started doing the resistance, right? So you can roll it around, kind of loosen it up. And you can do some stretches for your Achilles as well, but those are ankle things that you can use. I also want to show you, this is something else that I use. My chiropractor actually was the one who suggested this for me, and it works for people that sometimes when you're bedridden or you haven't used your ankles a lot, or even if you do there's some people who are flat-footed that may experience this, or people with like how do you say, plantar fasciitis. What happens is these you have a lot of tendons down here, and sometimes they can get really tight from not being stretched, from not being used, or from being overly stretched. You can sometimes pull on them, right? But a lot of times these tendons down here can get really tight. These muscles down here can get really tight, and this is really helpful for that. It's also helpful for your toes, but on another video when we talk about your toes, I'll talk to you about that a little bit. So what is this? Well, this thing is pretty neat. I got this, I think I got this at a outdoor, sports and outdoor place. But you can get these at Five and Below. I seen it at Five and Below. Same exact ones, right? For Five and Below. It's a good deal. This is pretty neat because you can heat this up, warm this up if you need it for warmth, or you can put it in the freezer and make it cold if you need it for cold. So it can help if you have a lot of swelling of your tendons and stuff. The cold will help to bring some of that swelling down. You can heat it up if you need to help kind of relax those muscles down in there. And so it's really good. You can use it for whichever way you need to use it. So let me show you how to use this. So basically how you use this, once you get it hot, once you get it cold, however you want to do it, I would advise that you wear socks if you're going to put it in the freezer, or if you're going to make it super warm because you want to protect the bottom of your feet, especially if you have something like diabetes or something like that. You don't want to burn your feet or freeze your feet, right? So you just put your foot on it, and you can put a little pressure on there, and you can do this sitting or standing up, and you just roll it back and forth. It will help loosen up those tendons. It'll help relax those muscles down on the inside of there. Sometimes if you're dealing with a lot of tingling in your feet, this can actually help you because it can help loosen up those muscles that'll stop it from kind of being jarred down in there. And you just go all the way from your heel all the way forward to your toes and back again. Okay, you got that? So that's one good thing that you can try. Some other things that you can actually do when you're trying to work on your ankle strength, depending on where you are and how where you are in your process of physical training and physical strength with your ankles. Another thing that you can do is, oftentimes we do calf raises with the emphasis on our calves, right? But when you're doing calf raises, if your ankles aren't really strong and they tend to wobble a lot, you want to hold on to something. Your kitchen sink is really good. I don't know about you, but my bedroom, my bed has it's really high off the ground, so I can use the foot rail, and I can hold on to that, and I can lift up and do my calf raises. And calf raises are easy. We've all seen them to some degree, and basically all you are doing is lifting up on the top of your feet. Calf raises, right? Make sure you're holding on to something to stabilize you, okay, and go up as high as you want. Now this is pretty good for me, you guys. I'm telling you, when I first started this, it was like barely my ankles got up off the ground because I did not have any strength in my legs. The other thing you can do, right, is you go up on this way, and then you kind of lean back and lift your feet up that way. I'm not totally there yet. I'm still working on it to get my feet all the way up, but I'm a lot better than I once was. Hello there. Sorry about all the camera action there, but those are things that you can also do, as well as standing on one foot. Helps you with your balance, but it also helps you with that ankle, so that your ankle can learn how to catch itself. If you have good balance and you have good strong ankles, if you stand on one leg and your ankle can kind of adjust, you'll notice your ankle move around to try to get your balance and adjust for you. When you have really weak ankles, it doesn't really adjust that well to when things are uneven, unsteady, or to being on one foot. And so it's easy for you to twist it, easy for you to break it. And so what you would do is you would hold on to something, have something sturdy and strong that you can grab onto and stand up straight where you're not bent over, and you will stand on one leg at a time, practicing, allowing that ankle to practice, trying to learn how to catch itself. So that is something that's really good. Remember, with all these things, you need to talk to your physical therapist, or to your, that looks uneven, to your physical therapist or to your doctors, to make sure that those are things that it's okay for you to do. If you're going to do things with balance, standing on your foot, doing your calf raises, I would suggest, if your ankles are in a really bad place, to wear your shoes, because your shoes usually have your tennis shoes, right? They usually have a really thick sole, wider sole on the bottom, wider than your foot. So it gives you that extra practice for balance. It gives you that extra support to help keep you safe. Because remember, in everything that you do, you want to be as safe as possible. So there you have it. Those are things that you can do to help maintain the health and the strength of your ankles. It also helps you with your balance, but it also helps you if you find that you have a lot of weakness in your ankles, a lot of balance problems and issues as well. These are also things that can be done if you are bedridden. You can do it actively, or you can do it passively. Thank you for tuning in with us for this month's First Friday Fitness. I appreciate it. And don't forget to tune in every Thursday for our regular Surviving and Thriving videos. Until next time, thank you. Bye-bye. Remember, in all things, do you.